guys, welcome to Teachers Off Duty. I am Miss Rogers, or Art Rogers World.
I'm Tell Williams, Mr. Williams pre-K on social media.
I'm Honest Teacher Vibes. Hey, best friend.
And I am Mrs. William Fifth on all social medias. So let's get started off by thanking our awesome support for this episode, which is Student Treasures. So if you've been watching our podcast for the past few episodes, you've heard a little bit about Student Treasures. So Student Treasures is a publishing company that wants to make all students have the ability to be published authors. And they have published over 15 million copies of students' work so far. So this is completely free to teachers. You get this awesome publishing kit. It comes with 66 pages. 33 of them are for text and 33 for illustrations. You also get a title page, an author's page, a dedication page, the works.
So this is free?
This is free.
Why is it free though?
It's free
What's the
because
catch? What's the
So
catch?
the parents will buy the copies. The parents are able to buy copies of their class's work and of their kids' works, and it's something that the parents can have. Like, oh yeah, you were a published author. I know my husband did it when he was younger also, but I like that to where you could like also see the whole class and see how the whole class has grown. In like, I as a teacher would buy one, but again, it's for
But you don't have to buy
6.
one because it's free for you.
it's free for you. And then all you have to do is in your kit, you even get parent purchase forms, so you can send them home and parents can buy copies of their class book. And then you'll have this awesome memory to hold on to with your class.
Do they have a website?
So, yes, they do. It's actually studenttreasures.com/teachersoffduty. So you can head there and then you can pick up your own free publishing kit to work on this with your class and to get your parents to have some awesome copies of your class book also.
That's really sweet.
I love it.
She's good at that.
I know she really is. So something that we've been chatting about lately and all morning, we thought it'd be really good to talk about with you guys, is the portrayal of teachers on movies and things like that. And if I had to pick a TV teacher that I identified with, it would be Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob.
You identify with Mrs. Puff?
Yeah, because she's just like, get out of my face. I don't know. She cares and she's always there. Like, she might have an attitude, but she's always there.
Yeah.
She's always doing the extra
go, Mrs.
stuff.
Puff.
And she's always working the extra. And SpongeBob has been through her class I don't know how many times.
Right.
And she still is there for him every time.
Am I a good noodle?
You're a good noodle.
She's like,
I'm a good
I'm
noodle.
a good noodle.
You need 600 to pass the test. You earned 6. But no matter, like, she will just, like, I don't know. She has that dry sense of humor.
So you
that
think
I love.
Mrs. Puff is a good teacher portrayal?
She doesn't give up.
She doesn't give up, but she's like,
burnt
okay,
out,
fair
though.
enough.
She is
Everyone.
burnt
She's
out.
burnt out.
She's burnt out. She's so tired.
And like SpongeBob
Okay.
did some good. He like tried to
You
hook
think
her
she's
up with.
burnt out?
Oh, yeah.
she's burnt.
Okay,
Baby.
maybe I don't identify with Mrs. Puff.
No, I mean, but listen.
No, Mrs. Puff reminds me of like the 25-year-in veteran teacher
100%.
that's like, I care, but I'm ready to retire.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, maybe I don't identify.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't say you identify with Mrs. Puff.
I like her
I do.
attitude. Like, no, maybe not her. Like, maybe I
I
don't know how
like
to
her
say it.
I just
attitude.
like
like her spunk. Like,
Yeah.
She got some.
like you know, that's
tenacity.
what I mean.
She
by
got
her,
some sassitude.
Yeah,
She
I
does.
like her sass, and she just like
Sassitude.
throws it back at SpongeBob.
I think the
and I'm
thing
just
is,
like-
we all are like, that couldn't be us, but we are. We're Mrs.
sometimes we do have Miss Puff days.
You know when we were Mrs. Puff? Week before Christmas break.
Oh,
I was not. I was not.
Trunchbull.
I was about to say I was not Mrs. Puff.
Grabbing Amanda by her pigtails and over the fence like in Matilda.
Caroline.
I
Yeah.
guess the reason that I feel like Mrs. Puff is one of the only people that I can find is because either teachers are either portrayed as being there so much that they're deemed as creepy, like
Right.
Will Schuester from Glee, or they're nowhere to be found, like in Riverdale. Like, where are all of these teachers in all of
There
these?
is
the
no
same
teacher
person.
creepier than Ezra Fitzpatrick from, Fitz.
Ezra
Just
Fitz.
Fitz. Ezra Fitz.
From Pretty Little
From Pretty Little Liars. I'm sorry, like, dude, you hooking
I
up with a
have no idea what
15-year-old.
you're talking
So
about.
so
Ezra
creepy.
Fitz in Pretty Little Liars So he goes to the bar. He meets this girl, like kind of like hangs out with her in the bathroom, you know.
Oh wait,
and
okay, I did see that episode.
One of his high school students.
Oh wait, I heard about this.
But they
Yeah,
don't stop dating, and they like date for years.
It is so.
Don't
It's
they
so
get married?
problematic.
I don't think so. I don't know. I never watched the end of
the
series.
Well, they do the same thing like that in Vampire Diaries because these people are like hundreds. Don't hate.
What?
These people are like hundreds of years old.
But
and
they
I'm
don't date like the teacher.
But still, they date
What
somebody
channel
that's
is this
older
on?
than them.
Okay, I've never seen Vampire Diaries, so I
either.
can't.
Y'all are so disrespectful.
So like, okay, I love Vampire Diaries. So
I do
like,
too.
the teacher in Vampire Diaries is Alaric, and
If you call Alaric Saltzman creepy, I will.
no,
kick you.
but like his actor is creepy.
No.
His actor is so problematic. Have you not seen the interviews when like the women, like Nina Dobrev and the girl who plays Hope, like they get really.
Oh really?
Like,
His
yes,
actor,
like
you
he's
mean
a
the
predator.
actual person?
Wait, you mean the person as in like the actor,
Yes,
not
the actor.
Is he creepy as a teacher
actor.
as well?
No,
He's
more
kinda
so
like
he more so takes on the role of like guardian, but that can also like like sometimes like Alaric and Will Schuester, sometimes they're given like such large roles in these kids' life that can be seen as
if
like
if they're the same, then Will Schuester is something out of a nightmare.
I need to know who this Will Schuester
You've never
person
seen
is.
Glee?
It's Matthew Morrison.
No, do I look like
I need to
watch
get out
Glee?
more.
No.
I don't see any.
I loved Glee.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about Will.
I don't know. I would always fast forward through his stuff because I was like, he was so weird. And then, like, they did an episode, thank God, where Naya Rivera, God bless, she was talking about how he's like a Spanish teacher, but he didn't want to be a Spanish teacher. He wanted to be like a Broadway star. I don't know.
I know what episode you're talking
and he was
about.
like super offensive in it. And she was like, "You're terrible." But I was like, I feel like that's just Matthew Morrison and not Will Schuester. I can't.
I remember that
That
episode.
was-
I liked that episode.
I did too because we got to demonize him. But like,
And that's when
he was just the weirdest teacher. Like, why are you best friends with your 17-year-old student? The kids were in his wedding.
Yeah, that was no.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I mean that. Okay, that
I'm like,
leads
I don't
me
wanna be
on
friends with
to
y'all outside of school.
Cameron Diaz from Bad Teacher.
That's you.
Yeah.
No, I don't even think you
I mean,
could compete
I would never
with her.
steal money for cosmetic surgery, but
I've never seen Bad Teacher. I need to watch more.
You
No,
do.
you do. Like
It's a good
Bad
movie.
Teacher is bad, but
It is
like
bad.
it's just, if you any of you are children, turn
Don't.
away.
Look
No,
away.
it's not. It is not for children.
it's not.
But it is hilarious.
It is really
I mean, it is really,
Totally false and inaccurate, but
it does,
hilarious.
it does. I mean,
know.
obviously, it's like heightened, right? But I feel like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
times in it where we all felt that way. But like, we all know a Mrs. Squirrel.
Oh
sure.
my god,
Who's
Amy
Mrs.
Squirrel.
Amy Squirrel.
The
It's like,
redhead.
it's like the one that's like that. The one that
the
like the
extra
one that will
teacher.
go in and tell you
Oh, God, is that
how
me?
to teach your class.
Is this from?
Oh, no, I wouldn't do
can't
that.
Ooh,
we talked about this last night.
I
That
wouldn't
sound
do
like
that.
sound like the people from county office who ain't seen the
Nope.
broadside of a classroom since Moses came down
Nope.
off the mountain with them 10 Commandments.
So
They ain't
have
been in
you-
the classroom in a long time.
Have you? What is your Mrs. Squirrel like?
Wait, who is Mrs. Squirrel?
Who, Mrs. Squirrel, she was like, oh, I wouldn't do it that way.
Is she
but like,
in Bad
She's,
Teacher?
She is.
Yeah,
She's like
she
the
is
counterpart.
The teacher across the hall from Cameron Diaz's character, and she's like the go-getter teacher trying to, you know,
toxic
Yeah.
positivity.
Is
and
Cameron Diaz's
optimism.
character a substitute teacher? Or
No.
is she
No,
No.
she's a
Teacher.
full-time teacher. And so Amy Squirrel is like when they first start the school year, she like has all these apples on the desks or whatever, and Cameron Diaz walks in the room and goes, "What's with all the apples?" And she goes, "Well, I think the kids are gonna teach me just as much as I'll teach them." Like one of those kids,
Ooh.
and or those
Oh,
teachers.
no.
And Cameron Diaz is like, "It's weird." She walks out.
So the whole thing is she's like a teacher, and then she's gonna marry this super rich guy, right? So she like quits, and she like gives the school the middle finger, like skids out of it in her like Porsche or whatever, and she gets to there, and then the mother-in-law's there and is like, "You need to break up." So she like kind of like has to then go back to teaching. She doesn't want to.
Oh,
So the entire
Lord.
thing is like, it's really funny.
But at the end, it comes back around to like
She becomes a good
she ends
teacher.
up really liking teaching and like becomes a good teacher and like she relates to the kids and
It's like
stuff.
School
Kids
of
with the
Rock,
What
but
grade?
funny.
I loved School of Rock.
It's like fifth
School
grade.
of Rock is
grade
great.
She teaches.
It's like
grade.
fourth or fifth grade or
I
something
love
like
Oh,
that.
School
I
of
think
Rock,
it has.
Or maybe
No,
they're
I think
older.
it's seventh grade.
Yeah, it's middle school.
It's like
for
middle
sure.
school.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, there are definitely some like cringe moments in that
For sure.
movie, like hardcore cringe.
My favorite is she's talking to the kid and she's like, high school's not gonna be your thing. maybe college. I was like, that's
Oh my
me.
gosh. My character is Miss Finster from Recess. Y'all remember
Oh,
Recess?
I remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Now
The
look,
Ashleys.
Miss Finster.
The
I love
Ashleys.
Miss Finster. Recess, that whole show
So good.
is literally an example of society, but as kids.
Yes.
Like they had their own, like look like King Bob and
Yes.
the Diggers and the Swinger
I
Girl.
loved it.
They had their own little, little city going on. But I'm definitely Miss Finster when she locked TJ in that box, and he thought he
I
couldn't
liked-
get out, but it was just lines on the ground. It's like TJ's a good boy, TJ. And then
I
they got him in
relate.
trouble on purpose, so he would have to go back in.
I relate with Senora Rodriguez from That's So Raven.
Oh
The
my
Spanish
god,
teacher.
Oh my gosh.
Because she was just always so goofy, but like
she was goofy.
she was funny. I liked her, and she seemed very involved. But
Disney really had, because Recess is a Disney show.
Loved
Mhm.
Recess.
They
Recess
had the
was
teacher,
really
like
good.
we had Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney.
I love Feeney.
Yes.
Mr. Feeney. Do you know- oh my gosh. Do you know who Mr. Feeney is in real life? Josh Monroe.
That's his
Yes.
name.
Yeah,
No, I'm
no.
just
I'm kidding. It's
No,
He's
Mr.
Mr.
Rogers.
Rogers.
I love Mr. Feeney.
We love Mr. Monroe.
See,
Shout out to Mr.
Now
Monroe.
I don't know what teacher I
I
identify.
forgot about Mr.
Mrs. Puff.
Feeney.
Mr. Feeney.
I don't know now. Now I'm like self. What teacher would you associate with me?
I would give her Miss Grokey. She's Miss Grokey.
I don't know who
that?
that is.
From Recess. She's the lady that always looks. She's like real zen.
I have not seen.
Oh,
Recess
yeah, with the
in so
scarves.
long.
Yeah.
Come on.
Is that
Um,
the one you would associate with me?
No, just like
She's
like
just real calm.
yeah.
Like has a good aura about her.
I
Like
don't-
real positive.
yeah.
I've been
But
told.
not like toxic positivity, but just like
No, not like Miss Squirrel.
Someone
Oh,
told me that
God.
I look like the teacher from Coco Melon. But
you do. Oh my god.
Oh,
Go
Do I? No.
You
It's the
do. Oh my
eyes.
gosh, my
Someone-
daughter watches Coco
I've
Melon
never
all
seen
the
it before. You're
time.
gonna have to show me this
Oh
teacher.
my gosh! Now that you say that, bro, you look exactly like
What
the
is she?
teacher.
What is she like?
Exactly like you.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, then I identify with the teacher from Coco Melon. I don't know what that means.
Next
I hope it's
next
good.
time we FaceTime, I'm gonna tell Peyton to call you the teacher from Coco Melon.
What's her
That is
name?
Instead
so
of TT
funny.
Becca. I don't know. We'll find out. We're gonna make something up. I'm gonna be like,
Coco
Peyton, doesn't
Melon.
she look like Coco Melon? Did she like the teacher from Coco Melon?
That'll be really cute. I've never seen that show, so I don't know anything about
I
it.
wish I had
I've never
never
seen
seen
any
it.
of these.
Same.
But
wish
I
I had
feel
never
like
seen it.
most of the shows and movies that I watch, there's more of like a lack of teachers. Like
Oh, for sure.
Riverdale.
I wanna know
Where are
where
your
are
adults?
they?
Yeah,
Riverdale-
seriously.
Riverdale
What?
followed the same like troop as like what you guys were talking about with like Vampire Diaries. Like the only teacher that was in there was one that was being super creepy with whoever the lead guy is, and then like pieced out and
Well,
wasn't.
that's
seen
how
from
like
again.
okay.
She was
I
murdered.
watched
She
like
was
the Chilling
murdered.
Adventures of Sabrina.
It was the
and-
double.
Yeah, the only teacher in the whole series ends up getting like possessed by
Yeah.
what's her Lilith.
Yes.
we have
and
great
then-
representation.
Right, and it's just like okay, there are no other. I'm like, how are these kids running out of school in the middle of the day? You know, you get caught doing
I
that.
don't. That's my thing too. Like they'll just open up some random classroom to make out, or they'll open up some
No.
random classroom to fight another
What?
vampire. I'm like, bro, where y'all teachers at?
Yeah,
And what's really weird is like, is this the idea that they grow up with when it comes to like, this is what your
100%.
school's
Heck
gonna
no,
look
they
like?
go to
And
school
Oh,
this
every
I
is
day.
did.
what-
They know it ain't like
I'm
that.
telling
I
you.
thought every day would be like the Magic School Bus. Miss Frizzle lied to me. She
She did
kidnapped
lie
those
to us.
kids so many times, but it was fun. It was fun, but
she
like.
brought
She
them back in
kidnapped
time for
them.
dinner.
Really
Yeah,
kidnapped
she took them to space. There's no way there was a release form signed by those parents.
Oh
to take
my
them to space.
god!
And so- and so-
I
then
mean,
like, they
but do
fly
you
through the
really
kids'
need a
nose.
release form for space?
Not for Miss Frizzle.
Actually, okay.
Becca's
so
gonna
Call
say
Jeff
this
Bezos.
reminds me of a story.
It does.
Did you go to space?
But it's because I was asked to tell this story so many times and there was never a good time, but it's the field trip from hell. Should I do it now or should I do it a different one?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So, when
I'm
I have to
scared.
prepare.
No, this
Okay.
is like, oh my God, this scarred me for so I was asked when I started at my new school, I was asked to take the club Model UN.
Mhm.
And so I did. Apparently the old advisor left kids places, like literally was hours away and was like, okay, you guys go to the conference. I'm going to go back to the hotel. Like yeah.
These high school students?
Yes.
But
Oh,
still.
well.
Yes. And so
Should've
she
said
was
so.
not allowed to
Fine.
keep the club. And so the principal was like,
She was allowed to keep her job, but just not the club. She should've been
That's a
fired.
different story. That's like a completely different
They're
story.
like, we don't have any
But anyways,
teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. Anyways, so she was really mad that this club was taken from her. And so she would come into my room and basically like try to bully me. Like, literally, you're not going to be able to do this club well, and you're probably not going to be able to take them to conferences. And she was trying to intimidate me. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to take them to New York, because screw you.
Okay.
So I got it approved, like I got it everything. I sent out paperwork and release forms and like all of the things I was supposed to do. But apparently the assistant principal that was in charge of all that stuff sent me all the wrong things. So I wasn't getting half the stuff I was supposed to do. I didn't, because he never told me about it.
Were you guys like overnight in New York?
Yeah, like we were there for 3 or 4 days.
With none of them overnight.
We were there for 3 or 4 days.
Absolutely not.
And so like
3 or 4? No.
And
That's
he
a
also
one-nighter.
told me, the principal also told me that the other staff was so traumatized by the teacher that I couldn't ask any of the staff to help chaperone. So my parents chaperoned with me.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
And it was, they loved my parents.
Good people.
So anyways, leading up to the trip, like the day before we leave, this mom calls me and is like, she calls me at 7:00 at night, and she had my number because if I'm taking your kids across the country for multiple days, I want them to have my number.
That's understandable.
And she starts yelling at me for changing the price of the trip. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, I was under the impression that food and drink were included. And I'm like, no, that wasn't on any form. That wasn't on anything. And she's like, well, that's what my daughter said. I said, well, that's not correct. So going to the airport, the girl says, my mom is giving me like what, $500 cash for this trip, and she says that you have to hold it. And I said, absolutely not. And she's like, my mom says your principal says you have to hold this money.
Give her the
So I said, and I know.
At that point, I'd be like, girlfriend, you're not going on the trip.
Okay, stay at home then.
I was a second-year teacher. I had no other teachers with me, so I said, I will take it now. I'm going to we were trying to get on the plane. I said, I'm going to call the principal when we land. Yeah.
No.
I said, I'm going to call the principal when we land and confirm, and then I'll give it back to you. As we're landing, a girl had a panic attack, like on the floor of the plane, unable to breathe. And because she was a minor in another state, I had to take her to the hospital.
Oh, dang.
So didn't get to call the principal. So
you wanted to go on this trip, right?
I know.
You chose that.
I would never tell. I would never.
Dealing with her at the hospital, we missed the opening ceremony for Model UN. This is like at the United Nations kind of thing. Dang. So missed the whole opening ceremony. Bring her back. Don't realize that one of the girls that's with my parents is shoplifting while my parents aren't paying attention.
Where at?
In the gift shop and things like that.
The gift shop.
Honey, you are not modeling the UN right now.
Yeah. Oh, because it was at the UN. She stole from the UN.
No, this was at we were at a nice hotel. A nice hotel.
You know, if you're gonna steal, I would not be stealing from a hotel. Go to Saks.
Gucci stuff.
So then, like, this same girl that's been shoplifting comes to me the next day and is like, I like this boy in another delegation. Can I go to lunch with their group? And I was like, you're absolutely not going anywhere without an adult. Like, we're saying as a group. And another teacher who was there in my county, she was actually at my old school, was like, you're being too hard on them. They're just going across the street.
Okay, well, you take them then. You take them.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, like, you can go across the street. If I meet the teacher and I, like, confirm that it's okay, they basically had an older looking kid pose as a teacher to come and introduce themselves to me. And my gut was like,
a teacher badge on?
She had some kind of badge or something. I don't know. I don't remember. And I remember thinking, like, something's not right, something in my gut. And then I was like, no, Rebecca, you hate when people assume you're a kid. Like, don't do that to this young teacher. And so I was like, okay, whatever.
No,
and then
let me see your badge.
I want to see a pay stub. Show me the pay stub.
Teacher. I had
You're too nice.
I was a second-year teacher. I had no other
W2.
teachers with me. And so then when I found
you took
out
them by yourself, was just you
with
and
my
your
parents.
How many? How many kids?
There was maybe like 15 of them.
Absolutely
That's too many.
not.
You are
Five,
insane.
I know.
5 high schoolers
How
in New
did they
York
sign
City?
off? See, how did they sign off on me taking them though? They never
wanted to
should
get
have
rid
done
of them
that.
too.
This was
Yeah, they
also
said-
less kids at school.
So
Have you ever met the UN kids?
when I caught the girl, I literally confined her to her room. She wasn't allowed to go to the social. Literally could hear her mom on the phone. It's not your fault, honey. Blah, blah, blah. Like,
oh my gosh,
this whole
parents
thing.
are
Wait, so
such
what-
Tried
enablers
sneaking a
sometimes.
boy into her room. Boy didn't realize that I was sitting there in the hallway. He just thought I was a kid. So he just like tries to walk into her room. And
Wait, you guys didn't tape the doors?
this was like while the other kids were at the
the
social.
door.
Yes, every field trip I went on, like, okay, so for high school, I was in concert choir, and we took a choir trip
you
every
taped
year.
the door.
They tape the outside
Yes.
of our door so they know who went out of their room.
Yeah.
At night, yes, but this was during the social that I said she was not allowed to
What
go
kind
to.
of James Bond type stuff is
That's
that?
some Cinderella
That's like a
stuff.
thing.
You
That's
may
a
not
thing.
go to the social, and then she's stuck in her room.
She
crying.
literally told all of her friends that I kicked her out of the club because she tried to eat ice cream in her room. That was why I kicked her
Boo-hoo,
out.
baby girl.
Then-
What's his
No.
name?
Ooh, baby girl.
No.
During all the craziness, the girl who gave me the money asked for it back, so I gave it to her and she lost it. And then when we came back 3 days later, New York closed for COVID.
Listen,
Because
3
of you.
days later.
Y'all were ground zero for COVID.
Okay, y'all
You were
probably-
patient X or whatever it's
yeah, no.
called.
It is that parent's
And
fault for
that's-
giving her daughter $500 in cash.
That was
For how many
2020.
It was
Get her
like,
a debit
I don't-
card,
I
man.
honestly
Thank
don't even
you.
remember how much money. I think it was like $500.
No,
I'm pretty
they
positive.
have debit cards. Like she doesn't.
She
have
wouldn't
a
have
debit
a.
card.
She
She
did not
would've
have a
lost that
card.
too.
I believe it.
No, she might not, but like the mom can give it up.
That's the
mom
field
can
trip
pull
from
500.
hell. That is the worst
I would never
experience
take them
of my
700.
life.
I would never take.
Mrs. Puck would never.
I would never take. I can't get them to walk right from the classroom
Right.
to lunch. I
See,
ain't taking y'all nowhere
the
off
rest
campus.
of the kids, amazing. Like it was like
always
my kids
one.
won an award. Like they did so awesome. They were really great kids.
No.
I
But
ain't
like
taking
those-
these kids
Nope.
nowhere.
it's really the two. The girl
No.
that went to the hospital, she was so sweet. Like she was so
Hard
funny.
pass.
Baby, you can
Her
look at it from
heart
every
rate-
other angle, but there's just no way I'm taking 15 high schoolers to the New York City. We go to the apple orchard, and I require every parent has to go.
You know what though? I say that, but we went to Nicaragua when I was in high school. My basketball coach took us to Nicaragua
For why?
Really?
to play basketball. in
That's
Nicaragua. I mean, we went
cool.
on like a missions trip, but we
That's
were
cool.
playing
That's really
basketball
cool.
against other teams, and I threw up all the way back home because I was so
Oh.
motion sick.
Oh,
But it was a really cool
bless.
experience, and I'm like, how did my coach deal with us for a week
Could not be me.
That's a
in another
lot.
We
country?
went to,
Wow.
because I did cheerleading in high school too, and we did some kind of, we were in the Orange Bowl. Like we danced in the
cool.
Orange Bowl
That's
with
cool.
the Goo Goo Dolls.
What's the
And
Orange Bowl?
it's a football game.
Oh, yeah. that checks out.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
football
that,
game.
that makes sense.
So looking back on that now as an adult, like I would never
No.
take like 15 girls on a trip to Miami in the middle of winter to cheerlead. Like
That
no.
sounds like a terrible idea.
It sounds horrific. Like I know, like my husband was in band and stuff. They went on band trips all over
I
the
don't want
place.
to take these
We
kids.
went to-
Everyone
we
not
went on
watch
choir
Bring It On
trips.
or American Pie. Do they know what happens?
American
Yeah,
Pie.
no, I'm not
I've
taking
never
kids
seen
Dude,
nowhere.
I
American Pie.
forgot about American Pie.
I don't.
Do they
I'm so
ever
sorry
have?
for
And that's the other
Coolidge.
thing. Not even just teachers, but like coaches too. Like okay, the movie Fired Up. Have you ever seen Fired Up?
No.
Oh my god,
What's
you
it
would,
about?
you would love Fired Up. It's cheer camp.
Oh.
But Fired Up, like there are no coaches. Like all these high
They're
school
just-
teenagers
now
just
they-
get on
where
the
are the
bus
coaches
and
at?
go
Bring It
go
On
with
never had a
each other.
coach.
They have
Yeah.
a coach. and
Bring
they
it
just
on.
don't-
They don't have a
They
coach.
just had a
No.
captain.
It's just like the kids doing it all, and that's
Yeah,
like,
they just go.
Right.
I'm like,
Well,
no,
that's
no,
a-
no.
that's a plot
Like, okay,
hole.
like I coach like a speech team at a high school, and every time we get on and off that bus, it's like, okay, declamation 3, like raise your hands.
Okay.
Duo 3, raise your
Yeah.
hands. Like we have to count every single kid, and like it's just so unrealistic.
TV teachers are so unrealistic.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Is there one that you would think like? Is there one that's realistic
yes.
in
Mr.
modern days?
Feeney.
In modern
Mr.
days,
Feeney.
No, yes.
Mr.
Look,
Feeney.
watch Abbott Elementary School. It's
Okay,
amazing. I know.
everybody
You
has
have
been
to,
telling me
because
about
it's,
Abbott.
It's kind of like mockumentary, which is like my favorite style, and it's genuinely so funny. But they're like good teachers. Like they are
Okay.
good, solid teachers.
Miss Honey.
Miss Honey is good.
Oh,
Honey
I
is pretty
love
good.
Miss
We love Miss Honey.
Not so much Miss Trunchbull, but Miss Honey.
You know what? When
I've
I was
never seen
younger,
that
I
movie.
used to identify with Miss Honey, but now that I'm an adult And I
Miss
teach
Trunchbull.
7th grade. I identify with Miss
Oh yeah,
Trunchbull.
we all wanted to be Miss Honey, and then life got to us. You
Look.
know,
I've never seen that movie.
you've never seen Matilda.
Have you lived
It's
under
my
a
mom's
rock?
favorite, but I've never watched it all the way through.
Oh my gosh, it's a
Oh
classic.
no, that's yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
She's like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Amateurs.
I mean, I
It's
know
so
the
good.
song, but like
Uncultured.
I've
It's
never
that
seen
one's.
the movie.
It's all based on like learning and like the entire basis is Miss Honey, and she has a really well. You find out later. Spoiler if you haven't seen Matilda's been out for 30 years, but
Good for you.
you find out that Miss Trunchbull, the principal, who's really mean, is her aunt, and that she
Oh.
may or may not have killed her father. Oh wait, this is like a book too. It started as a book. So
Oh, I didn't know Matilda was a book.
it's written by the guy who wrote Witches and Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl?
What?
Roald Dahl.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, he wrote Matilda.
Roald
What?
Dahl?
What's it called?
Matilda?
Matilda.
No, fam. What's the name of the other book that y'all said he
The
wrote?
Witches.
Oh.
Witches. When the witches turn the little boy into like a mouse.
Nope.
They just
I haven't
remade
read
the
that
movie.
one.
It was
I
Angela
know.
Houston was in the movie, and then Anne Hathaway was in the new
I
one.
love Anne Hathaway.
What's the book that we used to read when the teacher she dressed up and pretended to be a sub?
Oh,
What's the
Miss
name of
Nelson
it?
is
Miss
missing.
Nelson is
Yes.
missing.
Oh my
I
gosh,
read
wait.
that to my class every year when we're talking
love
about
Miss
making
Nelson.
inferences. Because Miss
Yes.
Nelson, they have a lot of good like clues in the illustrations. So it's a good book for making inferences and stuff of why like Miss Viola Swamp is Miss Nelson.
Man.
You are
like I've heard
unlocking
that.
this.
Or like, do you remember Wayside School is Falling Down?
That's what I was
Wait,
about to
what?
say.
Wayside School is Falling Down.
What was
That's
the
my
book
favorite.
When like
Leslie's pigtails. I think about that.
what
read
was
that
the
one.
book about? Like the girl was allergic to secrets, and like
No.
and like the teacher actually did like live at the school or something like that. Do you know what I'm talking
No.
Is
about?
that a kid's book or it's a novel or something?
No, it's like a kid's book. It's
I
like a
d-
kid's
Right
chapter
up.
book. Cause
Oh,
I remember
I've never
it.
heard of this.
Never heard of it. Dang, I really want to know
Okay,
what it
this
was.
is
Was it
random,
Gretchen
but-
Wiener since her hair's
What?
full of secrets? Like
This is really random, but do y'all remember? Y'all are gonna judge me because I bet you 9 times out of 10 nobody in this room remembers this. But did y'all ever read the book Tiki Tiki Timbo?
Tiki Tiki Timbo. Tiki Tiki Timbo,
Timbo,
no
no
sir,
Rembo,
Rembo,
Cherry
Cherry
Berry,
Berry,
Pip,
Rucci, Pip Perry Pembo. Has fallen in the well.
Oh my god, I
and
love that book.
Chicka Chicka Boom Boom were like my go-to.
I
at all
love that. That
times.
was really cute.
And Ricky Tikki Tavi. Y'all
Yep.
remember that?
Oh yeah.
I loved the little clip of like the little movie clip of Ricky Tikki Tavi. So who did you guys read Judy B. Jones?
Yes.
So
didn't
I've
really read Judy
been
B. Jones.
considering doing like Connor and Kyle's adventures, kind of like Judy B. Jones, but I don't know. But
You should do it. Do
I think
it.
I might.
Do
I
it.
don't know. I don't know. I don't even know where to start. I would probably need to read some more Judy B. Jones books to like remember child level reading because you know I mostly do high schoolers and the big kids, but I don't even know where to start with that. But do you think that would be a bad idea? or a
No,
good
that would be
idea?
cute. I think that would be a cute
Okay.
idea.
I don't
You're
know.
a content creator. You're creative.
Yeah, you'll get it.
You could do it. You could totally do it. We didn't went from TV teachers to book teachers.
TV
I mean-
teachers to
I
field
mean, they
trips.
all
Most
kind
of
of
them
are one and
become
the
TV. Yeah, most of them become TV shows or movies, right?
I
Well,
just
but the other thing is like that really bugs me is when there are just children in classrooms without adults.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like there would never
It's
ever
unrealistic.
be a classroom full
No.
of kids for a long period of time without an
Yeah.
adult in the
Yeah.
room.
And working at you,
Like,
Charlie Brown. Like,
Right. Wah, wah,
I've only
wah,
ever heard the
wah.
teacher.
Yeah, no.
And she sounds like a speaker, so I don't think she's real.
That's true.
I know.
Ooh.
We need to talk
Yeah.
to the Peanuts immediately.
She
and be
sounds like a
who's
trumpet.
watching you. Yeah, we're that's where it started. That's where we
Or
got the
trombone,
no
which one?
parents business. It's
Yeah.
from the Peanuts.
But see, like in a lot of the shows, like we were talking about, like Glee, Vampire Diaries, things like that, there's like so many absentee parents that then the teachers take on that role. And part of me
I don't wanna do that.
wonders,
Nope.
part of me wonders if because of all those TV portrayals, if that's one of the reasons that parents just assume that we should be doing more than what's in our contract.
I don't
don't
know.
know.
I think like there's a basis of like just the history of teachers in the U.S. and that they had to be like single men, and then eventually they had to be single women, and they had to live at the schoolhouse and never marry. So I think that's like
teachers did used to live at school.
they did used to live
Yeah.
at school. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like,
that's where it
okay,
started.
So there's this this old village in my town. We have like a Canfield Fair every single year, and they have, I forget, is it Western Reserve Village? I think it's called. and it's just all these old buildings that was like used to be a village, and one of them is the schoolhouse, and it has like on the wall there's a list of all these old rules that teachers had to follow. It was like they cannot be accompanied by a male suitor after whatever time. They can't be out of the schoolhouse after 8 p.m.
Man, all of us would have been fired.
But this,
I
I think
know.
this is why. I mean, even though it's like people, like most people don't know this, it's kind of just transformed over time. That like you have teachers who like literally get called into the principal's office for like having a margarita with friends on the weekend, and a parent saw them. Like, that's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
right.
The other night, I was at a restaurant. I was like, I was walking out of the bathroom, and they were looking at me, and I was like, it was like a group, this giant group of it was 2 tables. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. And then she was like, do we know you from social media? I said, oh, yeah, you do. She's like, we're teachers at the elementary school. And it's like, I love that. So I'm talking to them. And I was like, I advocate for teachers needing to do self-care. So I walked up to the bar. I'm like, can you buy them all drinks? And so I bought them drinks, and I laughed because I didn't want them to know I did that. So if they're watching, whoops. But I didn't want them to know that I did that. But I was like, that's called advocating, people.
Okay.
If I'm advocating that you drink and I bought you one.
And it's not illegal. Like we
No.
can drink.
Right.
And why in their right mind would a parent go to the principal? I saw such and such teacher out drinking.
I
Are
think
you
it's
serious?
I think it's that mentality that teachers should only be eating, sleeping, dreaming.
Well, I think it makes parents. I think, and too, like I love looking at the other side. I think it makes parents feel. I can't imagine having a child because I don't want one, but I can't imagine like giving that child to a person who is supposed to watch them for 7 hours a day. So in my mind, I want that person to be as virtuous and as well-rounded as possible. And so when you see teachers who are like at the beach, or teachers who, are humanized, it makes that facade of like, this person is the most well-rounded and most responsible human in the world, because like we're just like other people. Like,
Right. We're
like,
just regular people.
so I think I think it might just like help parents feel a little bit better about dropping their kids off, and also admitting that like we're helping to raise your child. Like there are some weeks we see your children much more than you do.
But
like,
it's one thing to be responsible and professional,
Right.
like in the classroom, and like
Right.
obviously follow the rules when you're working with kids.
right.
But if it's July and I'm on the beach having a margarita with my friends on vacation,
right.
I'm
I'm
not
not
worried
censoring
about
myself.
it.
Right.
I'm an
Concerned.
adult. I can do
Yeah.
those things.
We see
so
what
it's
they do
fine.
on Vampire Diaries. We're fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Compared to Ezra Fitz over there, I mean,
Holy moly.
we're doing pretty well.
Now I have to watch Bad Teacher.
Yes,
it's
you do.
funny.
You want to just watch it tonight?
Yeah,
We
we'll watch
should.
it
I'm
tonight.
gonna be
Tonight.
knocked out, but yes, we can watch.
We'll watch
Yeah.
it tonight, and
Take a
we'll
nap.
just
Party in Tail's room.
Bree's reaction to Bad Teacher.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
good. You'll
I'm here
like
for
it.
it.
You'll love it. It's pretty solid.
Good.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are probably going to start asking you all on our social medias what segments you want us to talk about, what segments you want us to start, what subjects you want us to talk about, because we definitely want to hear from you, and we want to give you what you want to hear. So we have one more for this month, and then we'll probably start incorporating some of your ideas, not the next episode, but the episode after. So definitely be on the lookout on our social medias, whether it be Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, Patreon, Twitter, any of the things. Let us know what you want to see. Give us feedback, because we love hearing feedback from you guys. And thank you guys so much for joining us, and we love you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.